Ever been scorched by a fire so fierce it rewrote your entire story in a single blaze? That's an Aries for you. A human inferno who doesn't just walk into your life. They detonated, leaving ashes of the old you and embers of something bolder behind. We're diving headfirst into why an Aries is the Zodiac's unforgettable wildfire. The kind of force that brands your soul with passion, chaos, and raw, unfiltered truth. Stick with me, because once you've felt their heat, there's no turning back. Let's peel back the layers of this fire sign's magic and madness. What makes an Aries stick in your mind like a song you can't unhear? It's not just their loud laugh or the way they charge into a room like they own it. It's the deeper pulse of their energy. Picture this. You're at a stale party, the kind where everyone's just sipping wine and nodding politely. And then an Aries bursts in, late as always, with a story about how they just raced a cab driver on foot to get there. Suddenly, the room's alive, and you're laughing so hard your sides ache. That's their gift, turning the mundane into a memory. But it's not all fun and games. Their brutal honesty can sting like a slap. I've seen it firsthand. A close pal of mine got told by her Aries bestie that her new boyfriend was a walking red flag with a bad haircut. Harsh? Yes. True? Painfully so. That's Aries. They don't sugarcoat, they slice. And yet, you can't help but respect the courage it takes to speak truths others dodge. Their loyalty, too, is a fortress. Cross someone they love, and they'll fight for you like a lioness guarding her cubs. So why do they linger in your heart? Because they're a paradox of wildfire and warmth, chaos and care, and every second with them feels like it's etched in stone. Now let's twist the lens a bit. Have you ever wondered if that same fire that lights you up could also burn you down? Aries isn't just a spark. They're a full-on explosion, and not everyone can handle the heat. I've got a story that'll make you think twice about underestimating their intensity. A few summers back, I watched an Aries friend rally a group of us for what was supposed to be a chill picnic. Next thing I know, we're scaling a cliff at dusk because they swore the view would change our lives. Half of us were terrified. One twisted an ankle, but when we got to the top, panting and cursing, the sunset hit us like a punch. Golden, endless, worth every scraped knee. That's the Aries effect. They push you past your limits, sometimes recklessly, and you hate them for it until you realize they've just handed you a moment you'll never forget. Their impulsiveness isn't just a quirk, it's a challenge to live louder. So are you ready to see how deep this fire burns? Let's set the stage with the raw essence of Aries, straight from the stars. Born between March 21 and April 19th, they're the first sign of the Zodiac, ruled by Mars, the planet of war and desire. That's no coincidence. Think of them as the universe's opening act, charging forward with the energy of a warrior and the heart of a thrill seeker. Their core traits: boldness that borders on reckless, passion that could power a city, and a directness that cuts like a knife. I've seen this play out in countless readings over the years. One client, a soft-spoken Libra, told me how her Aries sister once walked into her office during a tense meeting and declared This place is sucking the life out of you. Quit today. I've got your back. No filter, no hesitation. That sister didn't just speak. She ignited a decision that changed my client's career path. That's Aries as a catalyst. They don't tiptoe around your life. They kick the door down. Let's break it down further. Their energy is infectious. Studies on personality dynamics, like those from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, suggest high-energy individuals, often aligned with fire signs like Aries, can elevate group morale by 30% in social settings. I've felt it myself at gatherings where an Aries turns a dull chat into a debate so fiery you forget the time. Then there's their passion. Whether it's love, work, or a random hobby, they dive in headfirst. Picture an Aries artist I knew who stayed up 48 hours straight to finish a mural, paint on their face, eyes wild, just because it had to be perfect. That intensity spills into relationships too. They love hard, sometimes too hard, demanding all of you in return. A friend once described dating an Aries as like riding a roller coaster blindfolded, thrilling, terrifying, and over before you can catch your breath. But their flaws are just as loud. Impatience? They've got no time for delays. Think of them tapping their foot while you're still tying your shoes. And their temper? It flares fast. I recall a family barbecue where an Aries uncle flipped a table over a petty argument about grilling techniques. 10 minutes later, he was apologizing with a bear hug. That's the cycle. Eruption, then remorse. So when I say Aries is unforgettable, it's because their highs lift you to the sky, and their lows remind you gravity exists. They're the spark that starts the fire, for better or worse. And their traits, energy, passion, honesty, impulsiveness, build a memory you can't shake. Let's dig into the real stories behind this. The ones that show how their fire reshapes lives in ways you'd never predict. Here's a curveball to chew on. What if the very thing that makes Aries unforgettable, their unrelenting drive, can also be their Achilles heel? I've seen it unravel in real time, and it's a story that'll stick with you. A few years back, I crossed paths with someone whose Aries energy was like a hurricane. They were launching a small business, a quirky food truck idea, and their enthusiasm was magnetic. They'd talk your ear off about flavor combos at 2 a.m. They couldn't slow down, if odd hours, and pitch to investors with a fervor that could sell ice in a blizzard. But here's the flip side. They couldn't slow down. They burned through savings in weeks, skipped permits in their rush, and snapped at anyone who dared suggest a pause. A truck launched, sure, but crashed just as fast. Legal hiccups, exhausted crew, and a leader too stubborn to pivot. Watching it implode was like seeing a star burn out. You couldn't look away. Yet, even in failure, their fire left a mark. One of their early supporters, inspired by that raw hustle, started their own venture with a calmer head and credited the Aries for the initial push. So here's the tension. Aries' relentless drive can build empires or rubble. But either way, it's a spectacle you can't unsee. Their inability to pace themselves often sparks chaos. Yet that same flaw teaches those around them to chase dreams with guts. Think about it. How many times has someone's over-the-top ambition, even if it flopped, made you rethink playing it safe? That's the Aries paradox. Their missteps are as unforgettable as their wins, because they dare where others hesitate. Let's push deeper into the moments where their fire truly transforms, where the heat forges something permanent in your soul. Now we're at the heart of it, the molten core of why an Aries sears into your memory like no other. It's not just their loud moments. It's the quiet ones, the fierce ones, the times they strip you bare with their truth or shield you like you're their own. Let me paint you a picture with a story that still gives me chills. I knew someone whose Aries partner was a storm in human form. Early in their relationship, during a rough patch when doubts crept in, this Aries didn't just talk, they acted. One rainy night, after a fight that left both raw, the Aries showed up at 3 a.m. with a beat-up guitar, standing under the window, belting out a horribly off-key song they wrote on the spot about screwing up but never giving up. It wasn't Hollywood romance. It was messy, real, drenched in rain and regret. But it screamed love at full volume. That's Aries in relationships. They don't whisper affection. They roar it, flaws and all. Their intensity isn't just in romance, though. Think of their loyalty as a shield. I've witnessed an Aries friend go toe-to-toe with a bully at a bar, not because they were itching for a fight, but because someone they cared about got insulted. They took a punch, didn't flinch, and later laughed it off with a bruised jaw, saying, "Nobody messes with my people." That protective streak, it's primal. You feel safe, even if their methods are wild. But the real kicker, the thing that brands them into your psyche, is their honesty. It's not just blunt, it's transformative. I recall a time when I was stuck, spinning my wheels on a dead-end project, too scared to let go. An Aries in my circle looked me dead in the eye and said, "You're better than this half-hearted crap. Drop it, or I'll burn it for you." It stung like hell, but it woke me up. Within a week, I'd scrapped it and started something that actually lit me up. Studies back this up. Research from the American Psychological Association shows direct feedback, even when harsh, can boost self-awareness and growth by 40% when it comes from a trusted source. Aries is that source, wielding truth like a blade to cut through your excuses. And here's the deeper layer. They make you feel alive, even in conflict. Ever argued with an Aries? It's like sparring with a thunderstorm. Electric, exhausting, but somehow clarifying. A client once shared how a blowout with her Aries sibling over a family secret ended with both in tears, hugging it out closer than ever. That raw emotion, the way they drag every feeling to the surface, leaves no room for apathy. Let's tally it up. Their love hits like a tidal wave. Their protection feels like armor. Their honesty rebuilds you. And their energy forces you to live in technicolor. I've seen it across countless charts and stories. Aries doesn't just pass through. They carve their initials into your life. Their fire isn't just heat. It's a forge, reshaping you in ways you didn't see coming. Whether it's a lover's desperate serenade, a defender's reckless courage, or a friend's brutal wake-up call. These are the moments that stick, the ones you replay years later when the world feels too quiet. So when I say they're unforgettable, it's not hype. It's the weight of every laugh, fight, and revelation they've burned into you. But hold on, because even in all this intensity, there's a side to them that'll catch you off guard and make you smile. Let's lighten the load for a sec and sneak into the softer, sillier corners of an Aries wildfire heart. You'd think with all that intensity, they'd be a non-stop drama machine. But nah, they've got this knack for flipping the mood when you least expect it. I've got a memory that still cracks me up. A while back, I was having one of those days. Everything going wrong, stress piling up, face like a thundercloud. An Aries buddy noticed, didn't say much at first. Then out of nowhere, they start mimicking my grumpy expression, puffing out their chest, stomping around like a cartoon version of me. I tried to stay mad, I swear. But 2 minutes in, I'm doubled over, snorting like a fool while they're cackling. See, even misery looks dumb on you. It wasn't just a laugh. It was a lifeline. That's their secret weapon. Humor as sudden as a sunbeam through storm clouds. And it's not just the jokes. Sometimes it's the unexpected tenderness that gets you. Picture this. Late night, after a long venting session about life's curveballs, this same Aries goes quiet, rare for them, and just says, "Hey, I've got no clue how to fix this, but I'm here, okay?" No grand gestures, just that raw, fleeting vulnerability, like seeing a lion curl up like a kitten for a split second. It hits different because you know how much armor they wear. That glimpse of their softer side feels like a gift. And don't get me started on their wild ideas that drag you into chaos with a grin. Ever been roped into something so ridiculous you question your sanity? I have. This Aries once convinced a group of us to turn a boring Sunday into a treasure hunt with no map, no plan, just a hunch about an old park. We ended up lost, covered in mud, arguing over a rusted bottle cap they swore was vintage gold. It was a mess, but we laughed till it hurt, and now it's the kind of story you retell at every gathering. Their spontaneity isn't just fun, it's a reminder that life doesn't have to be so damn serious. I think that's what sneaks up on you. The way they balance their fire with these bursts of lightness, whether it's a dumb joke to snap you out of a funk, a quiet moment of realness, or a harebrained scheme that somehow becomes a core memory. It's like they've got this hidden stash of warmth and whimsy tucked under all that blaze, and when they let it out, it's the cherry on top of why you can't forget them. These little sparks, the laughs and the surprises, they stick just as much as the big dramatic stuff, weaving into the tapestry of how they've changed your lens on the world. So let's tie this inferno together. An Aries isn't just a person. They're a force, a wildfire that reshapes everything in its path. Their passion pulls you in. Their honesty rebuilds you. Their loyalty shields you. And their chaos, oh, that chaos, teaches you to live with the volume cranked to 11. They're the ones who turn a quiet night into a legend, who dare you to leap before looking, who leave you with stories and scars you wouldn't trade for anything. Their fire doesn't just warm, it transforms, leaving lessons of courage and authenticity burned into your bones. If you've got an Aries in your life, you know exactly what I mean. Their presence lingers like smoke long after the flames die down. And if you felt that heat, I want to keep sharing these cosmic insights with you. Hit that like, subscribe, and stick around. Your support keeps this passion burning. Now, tell me in the comments, what's the wildest, most unforgettable thing an Aries has ever done in your life? I'm all ears for your stories.